Today I fucked up by throwing up all over a client during sex and ending up in the hospital. This is a throwaway account, and this happened about 2 years ago. I was fresh out of high school, 18F, and in desperate need of some funds. I already had a job that I didn't make enough money doing, and I needed cash fast. Naturally I became a prostitute. I'm not one anymore, but I used to average about 5 clients a week, and it was really good money. I actually ended up enjoying the job immensely. One night I had a brand new client, 35M, contact me and ask to meet up. I texted him my address and got ready. When he came over, I asked him what he wanted and how he liked it, all the usual questions. I started to undress him and make him comfortable, and soon enough I was on top, riding him. We started to a bit rougher when all of a sudden there was a sharp extreme pain in my pelvis. I could barely breathe from the intensity of the pain. He asked if I was alright, and like straight out of a movie with the timing, I looked straight at him and just threw up all over him. He pushed me off and was naturally very alarmed as I kept throwing up. The sheets, both of our clothes, and his very expensive leather jacket, and the area was just covered. He immediately asked if he should call an ambulance, and all I could do was nod as I moaned in pain and kept throwing up. Eventually I went to the hospital that night to find out that I had an ovarian cyst that ruptured. I was in the hospital for a week after surgery, being watched and on medication before I was able to go home. He ended up texting me later on asking if I was alright. I apologized for everything, and told him that of course I would pay for the damage to his jacket and he didn't have to send me anything. He was such a sweetheart, he still paid me, and he actually asked me out on a date which I said yes to. We don't talk anymore, but I'm very grateful for him. Too long didn't read. I was a prostitute and threw up all over my client in the middle of sex. Ended up in the hospital with a ruptured cyst. I always have to pay extra for that. I already had a job that I didn't make enough money doing, and I needed cash fast. Naturally I became a prostitute. This is gonna be me after COVID takes my job. COVID took my job and UI runs out next week. Anyone want a fat middle-aged white dude? Got a real small wiener too. Excellent throwaway account name. Naturally I became a prostitute. Neat. I am absolutely in awe. I can't believe that account name wasn't already taken. Today I fucked up by inviting a stranger to come meet my breasts. This morning I was out for a walk with my 2 dogs. Now it's important for context that you understand how pretty my dogs are. They are both rescue husky mixes that look fairly unusual and have really both. Today I fucked up blue eyes. It's not out of the ordinary for people to stop me and ask about them, compliment them, and want to pet them. Having these ridiculously gorgeous dogs has somewhat desensitized me to people yelling out of car windows and across streets, because maybe 3 times a week someone will yell a dog compliment at us. So we were walking along the sidewalk when a man working on some new construction across the street yelled, "Oh my God, I love your doggers." I gave him a big smile and yelled back, "Thanks. Wanna say hi?" He looked slightly surprised but smiled and started walking over. When he crossed the street he was suddenly acting a bit awkward and not really paying much attention to the dogs. I had them sit so maybe he'd feel comfortable petting them, but honestly I was getting a weird vibe now and wanted to get on my way. We then had the following interaction. Him, "So do you want to give me your snap?" Me, "No thanks. You can say hi to them here, and I'm going to get going." Him, "Here, you just wanna." Mimes pulling down a shirt. Here's where I realize all at once that I'd fucked up. I had been desensitized by years of dog compliments and am now putting the pieces together that this man had very likely catcalled me, and I was basically a catcaller's dream, friendly and receptive to his advancement by smiling and inviting him over to say hi. My mind locked on to what he had originally yelled. "Oh my God, I love your doggers. I love your doggers. Doggers." Finally, my dumbass brain puts the pieces together and I squeak out a horrified, "Did you say you loved my knockos?" He nods yes, and I wish I could say I had some clever retort, but honestly I just gave him a firm point of my index finger and an exasperated, "No," before the pups, and I hightailed it out of there. TL doctor, I thought a random man was complimenting my dogs. Invited him to come say hi. Turns out, he was catcalling me. Dog tax. Dog tax? You're right, edited to add dog tax on the post. Catcalling someone to begin with is stupid. Catcalling someone with two large dogs is stupidly stupid. They are so dorky and nice in person though, they aren't cut out for scaring creepers away. Too many tail wags. My dog is also used to be complimented from afar and has associated this with pets, so he always drags me over to those people. One time I got catcalled and he dragged me over to the catcaller. Luckily that dude lost all interest in me once he saw my dog and I had to awkwardly stand there while they played. OMG, so, this / is what happens when you actually respond nicely to catcallers. I have always wondered what the next step in their plan is. It kind of sounds like he didn't know what the next step was either. Probably never thought it would go any further. On the topic of mixed signals when walking dogs, one time, I was walking my stunningly handsome German Shepherd, and we started approaching a nice-looking young lady my age. She looked at me and got a big smile, which naturally confused the fuck out of me. When we got closer she exclaimed, "So handsome," which only confused me more. Sensing my confusion, she raised a hand and helpfully clarified, "Oh, I didn't mean you." And that's how I almost got a compliment once. Today I fucked up by not looking closely enough at my new dog's doo-doo. This is the most horrifyingly disgusting thing that has ever happened to me. Fair warning. Last week, I adopted my first dog. His name is Franklin Beans and he is the absolute shit. Apparently his last owner was the human equivalent of a wet sandwich without any condiments on it. My dude was not in great shape when the fosters got him a few weeks ago. Since coming home, Frankie B has been a real treat though. He has, unfortunately, had some nervous shit. I took this as further proof that Franklin and I were meant to be. My butthole is also afraid of working in new places. Yesterday morning, I woke up in bed with my partner and Beans. My alarm goes off around 6 and I wake up to start another glorious day of teaching first graders online. Yes, I have recently developed a drinking problem. As I'm fixing my tea in the kitchen, I hear a tiny dog fart. Franklin Beans is taking a shit in my living room. Oh rats. This seems like a slide backwards in the progress we made this week. Whatever. I go grab a baggie to remove the dookie from my boat. Today I fucked up original hardwood floors and see that there are worms on it. Little flat white 1/4 inch moving goddamn worms. I freak the fuck out, quietly, because my partner is still sleeping. As I'm cleaning this up, I remember a Reddit post about a cat with worms and rush to my bed to find just what I suspected, hundreds of tiny little dead dried up worms. I unsuccessfully do my best to coax my partner to the couch without scaring him. I take Franklin outside to let him get the evil out of him. He immediately starts shitting again. But wait, that doesn't even look like poop. It looks like more and bigger worms. Dear God, poor Franken is now dragging his tiny little snake hole across the cement, desperately trying to get these fuckers to unlatch. It was breaking my heart, so I tried to use the plastic bag I carry for his booty presents to pull the stowaway from his tunnel. Guys, this worm was at least 6 inches long. It was horrifying. On our walk around the block, this happens about 10 more times. By the time we reach my apartment, I'm honestly impressed that I haven't fainted or screamed or thrown the whole dog out into a neighbor's bin. I get back to my apartment and the poor little dude is still scooting all over those today I fucked up wood floors I mentioned previously. I call up the vet and start describing the nightmare that I am living, because at this point I'm pretty sure my dog is just a big cute bag of worms. While pacing around, I step in something watery. I reluctantly look down to see what appears to be a writhing fistful of ramen noodles in a puddle of strawberry jam. I lose my absolute shit and let out a blood-curdling scream. This only frightens poor little Beans into releasing more worms from his bowels. Cancel my first live lesson and rush this spaghetti maker over to the vet for a drop-off appointment, so I can get home and teach those tiny little psychopaths about verbs and shit. Around lunchtime they call me to diagnose him as having a literal butt-ton of tapeworms. We talk care and recovery and I, still, am feeling slightly proud of myself for being as calm as I am. I hang up the call and return to my students, who are finishing up with lunch. As I log into the Teams meeting, I see one of my students eating the worst possible food for this day, a fucking cup of noodles. I can no longer handle this situation. In a shameful display of squeamishness, I proceed to vom all over my couch. On camera, in front of students and parents. Children are shrieking. I'm shrieking. I have no idea how I'm going to explain this on Monday. Too long didn't read, unknowingly got myself a pup of noodles and lost my lunch over a cup of noodles. This whole thing is just incredible. Your resilience is absolutely noted. Sudden onset of food poisoning is the excuse I'd go with. Hope Franklin feels better soon. I mean, that's why Op had to cancel the first class, right? Ben tried and got sick, right? Also, if Op is a woman, all the parents will assume she is pregnant and give her a pass. Thank you for ruining my delightful spaghetti dinner, Mr. Franklin Beans, with your plethora of ass wigglers. I am so sorry this happened to your poor puppa, but I definitely got a giggle out of reading this. He's feeling much better and the urge to dunk him in bleach is slowly dissipating. Let us know if your dog suddenly becomes less intelligent. Then we'll know if it came from a gas station egg salad sandwich or not. Potty training dogs is a whole new can of worms apparently. I think I saw Kevin Bacon riding one of those fuckers on its way out of his bum. You have no idea.